Welcome to the Art Lady channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this adorable stand-up holiday Santa. Now, if you don't want to make a Santa, you could turn it into a wizard, a warlock, Jack Frost. It just depends on the color that you choose, how you style the hat, and what you put in the hands. You can even make this an old man fisherman. Put a rain jacket on, so you'd be coloring this yellow, and put some fish in his hands, and it would look like an old man fishing. So it's up to you. So as I'm doing the demonstration, think about, who do you want to make? Father Winter, you color it blues and whites. So you decide. The first step is to go ahead, and we're going to be taking a slab that is 4 inches by 6, and it's 3/8 inch thick. And all we're going to do is trim off a corner. And slabs are not exactly perfect as they're cut because it's rolled out on a machine, so we have some bumpy areas. So if you need to straighten out any areas, you can. Don't worry about some of the corners because we can pop those and shape those into place. But basically, I'm going to be cutting off, I'm finding the center of this clay slab at the top, and I'm going to trim off in a curve. So I'm going to draw it lightly first. I'm going to go curve, curve. There's a little mistake here. So I'm going to lightly curve this corner. So I'm cutting off a triangle, which is approximately 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches on each side down. And I'm curving that triangle. So that piece is coming off. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to stretch this Santa. So here's what I start with. I want to pull the hat up and over, and then I want to pull the base out to make it a little bit wider so that he can actually stand up without tipping over, just like that. So to do that, I'm going to hold this hat part here, and I'm pressing the clay in, and I'm going to be bringing it over. Push lightly, tap in, and gently pull over, just to extend it beyond my slab. You can even hold it like this and pull, and you notice the clay is moving slightly. If I pull too hard, and if you want to practice the pulling on the smaller piece, you can, before you actually go jumping in and start pulling your clay. And then I'm going to, so it's a slight curve over, and then I'm going to pull the bottom just a little bit. And what it does is it expands it out just enough. There. Just pull it. It's really amazing what clay can do. All right, now I'm ready for decorating. And I'm using my leftover piece. I'm pulling off a little piece the size of a blueberry, rolling it, and placing it on the top of the head. If you want to put a little water in here or slip, you can. My clay is very wet, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to press it in, and then I'm going to add some texture with my wood tool. Now I'm going really fast. If you'd like, I have those instructions on Teacher Pay Teacher, or you can just pause the video. The instructions actually have the pattern for you to trace. Okay, so I've pressed in some texture. Now I'm going to go ahead. My next step, I'm working top bottom. My next step is to do the hat edge, or the cuff of the hat. So I take a piece of that clay and I roll it into a coil. I place it on and press it in, wrap it around just like that. And then I'm going to add some texture. Just pressing in my tools. You can press in stamps, whatever you want for your texture. And the next step is to go ahead. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and poke in my 2 little eyes directly below the hat. And he's tilted. Now, if you choose not to have your Santa tilted in this whimsical fashion, you can make him straight. I have him tilted to go along with my little mini whimsical village that I'm making. And the lessons on the tree and little houses are also on my YouTube channel. But you see how the little tree is bent as well. And now I'm going to get some texture for his beard. Now it's up to you how you want to design the beard. You can even just put liquids, real thick slip on here to give texture and pull up with your fingers. You can roll coils. Let me show you on the worksheet. You can roll coils if you'd like. It's up to you how you want to design the beard. I'm just going to pull off some of this really wet clay, place it along, give him some sideburns here, place it underneath. I pull and then slide, lay and then slide with my finger. Lay, slide, lay, slide, lay, slide. I want him to have a nice big long beard. And I'm basically just smushing this clay right in. Give him some layers. You can scruff it up with your wood tool. I want a really long beard. Or you can even scratch in some pattern like this as well. Okay, so design your beard. The next step is the little hands right here. Now I'm not going to put them right on my edge. I'm going to bring them in a little bit because this is going to be curved and folded around. See how he's folded around on the side? So I take my two little pinches of clay, roll them in a very quick ball, then I roll them back and forth into an oval. It's kind of like a barrel shape. Placing them down, pressing them in. Again, if you want to slip and score, you can. Depends on the method you're taught. I'm pressing this down, and then I'm going to take my wood tool and I'm just going to press in. Now I'm coming halfway. Here's my mitten. I go halfway and I'm doing a diagonal line into the mitten. And I'm just going to simply press and blend it in. And that forms his little mitten right there. I'm going to do the same on the other side. In halfway, find the top, bottom, halfway, diagonal. My tool is touching the halfway and I just press with a diagonal line. And that forms my little mitten. Now I can take, and I'm going to push this clay in on the end to form the cuff. Just rough up this area here. Usually he has this fur around his cuff here. And then I'm just going to slightly score lightly. Just draw very lightly. You only want to scratch the surface because this could form a weak crack if you go too deep. And I'm going to give him the arm line. Let's see if you can see it here. See how there's an arm line in here. The next step is for you to form something out of your leftover clay to go between the hands. Like I said, if it's a fisherman, you can make a fish. Maybe a Father Winter, you might want to put a little animal like a bunny or something, or a branch of a tree. You could put a string of lights between his hands. Whatever you choose, you add this to make it your own original creative Santa. Now I'm going to show you how to bend this. You pick it up gently and you can wrap it around a tube. Now a longer tube works better because this is a taller one. I've just got this here right here at my desk for now. So you wrap it around the tube at the bottom. Let me show you. Let me see. Let's get this so you can see it. So I place the tube and wrap it around. And that gives it a curve. Now I pull the tube out and I bend. I'm starting to bend this slowly in. It's kind of hard bending. I'm going to slightly bend the hat. I'm just rounding it. Round this area. And I'm rounding this. So I'm rounding this area, just like this. There. Now I put him up to dry, standing up. And that's him bent. Now you can, if you don't want him bent so much, you can just move him at this time. Just like that. And that's how you make the slab stand-up Santa. Let me show you him standing up. And I also give him a little tap too. If you tap the bottom, there. And there he is. Standing. Now position him exactly the way you want him to dry. And because you need to remember, the way he's standing is the way he's going to dry, and you can't move him. That's why I stand him up, give him a tap, and there he is. There's my stand-up Santa. Simple as that.